Hey, friends. I wanted to take a minute to talk to you about preparedness pivots. I have recently come across a perfect example of this, and I thought I would share because I want you to have the benefit of this experience as well. So one of the things we know from the beautiful bonus talk that we had with Katie Oglesby is that herbs are super easy to grow. And one of the best things about that is instead of paying a lot of money for those little bottles at the grocery store, you can grow your own fresh herbs and then use them during the season. When the growing season is over, you can dry them and use them throughout the year. Well, this year I'm running into a few challenges. One of them is the fact that I live here in Texas where it is brutally hot right now. We have had several weeks of 100+ days, and the sun is beating down on my garden, really making it difficult. We're watering as much as we can, and some things are managing to survive, some things are not doing great. So I had to make a decision to make a pivot, and I wanted to talk with you about that today. So this is my basil. Normally, I do not harvest my basil this early. I typically let the basil go throughout the entire summer, and I pinch off the flowers, and it makes this big, full, lush bush. And then I will get approximately 3 jars like this and a whole bunch of pesto for my freezer. And this year, because of the heat, the basil has not been doing well. It's been wilting and the stalks are not looking very healthy. And I decided that I needed to make sure that I was at least going to have some basil. So I chopped it I left, I don't know, maybe 25% of the stalks. So there's some leaves. If the weather calms down, it might produce new leaves and sprout again. Otherwise, I'm just going to be picking whatever I've got fresh and using that as we go along. I got 2 jars this year instead of 3 and no pesto. However, it is better to be proactive, and I have dried what I had access to. If I don't get more, well, that's the way it goes for this year. And I wanted to also tell you how I dried it, because I feel like that's a really good thing for you to know. Basically, I cut the stalks, the stems. I rinsed everything really well, let it dry, and then I put it on large trays in my oven with the oven light on. That is enough heat for 24 hours to dry your herbs, which is great. And I find that for some reason it has, I don't know if you can see, it has a little bit more color, I think, than when I do it in the dehydrator. So herbs I tend to do that way in my oven. Now I have crushed them up, put them in the jar. It smells fabulous, by the way. Oh my gosh. Just so good. And so now I'm going to be doing something called conditioning. When you dehydrate food, you want to make sure you condition it. So I've got the jar this way today. Tomorrow it will be this way. The next day it will be this way. And I will do that for 10 days. And the reason I do that is so that if there's any moisture in there, it gets shaken up. And I'll shake them a little bit as well, just to make sure that if there's any moisture, it doesn't clump in one space and potentially create enough of a wet mass that things start to go bad. I want to make sure I have enough. As little as I got for this year, I want to make sure that I have enough basil to use as much as I can. So that is today's pantry pivot lesson. And if your garden is struggling and some of your food is not doing well, I would encourage you to look at it and see if perhaps there's something that you can do to harvest early or preserve it, rather than letting it stay until it gets to the point where it completely withers and dies. So we want to make sure that we salvage what we can. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions, be sure to leave them down below. Take care. Bye.